he already exists actually, and his name is Storm.
Let me out! I want to tell them! Let me out!
And hi everyone, my name is Stormy the Folf, and it is time for Q&A number 10. For my Q&A videos, I answer questions that y'all leave on my previous Q&A videos. If y'all want to ask me a question for a future Q&A, you can ask by typing hashtag Q&A and leaving your question in the comments below. And without further ado, petite, let's get started. Can a protogen be based off of an animal other than a serval? If so, are there restrictions? It really depends on what kind of basis you're aiming for with regards to other animals. For example, protogens have several types of plug-and-play tails to choose from, whether it be for reasons of aesthetic or environmental factors. The long, full tail might be suitable for a fox-inspired protogen, for example. You could also design a fitting color palette and pattern markings inspired by the animal you're aiming for, like stripes if you were aiming for a tiger theme. But to the best of my knowledge, your protogen as a whole cannot be fully based on another animal, because then it wouldn't technically be a protogen. For a question like this, the best thing to do really is to consult the creation guide or the official Primagen and Protogen Facebook group. Are there any plans for an edgy version of Stormy, the shadow to your Sonic? Yep, he already exists actually, and his name is Storm.
Let me out! I want to tell them! Let me out!
Fine.
Sup, main Storm Bully, and I'm Stormy's angry, evil alter ego. Hey Stormy, what do I do now?
Just tell him more about yourself, I guess.
You gotta do everything around here. Anyway, I'm kind of a joke character made up by the Blue Boy himself. We're basically total opposites. Stormy is nice, and I'm a butthole. Stormy protects the potatoes, and I eat them.
Hey, you can't do that!
Pretty sure I just did though.
Alright, you uninspired alter ego stereotype of a knockoff.
I know, right? Only you would make something like this.
Stormy, have you ever thought of getting a suit for any other Sona that you might have? I have actually, but unfortunately I simply cannot afford to commission another suit at this time. But there are a few makers I'm eyeing to hopefully make Oranjee into a full suit someday. Definitely a future goal of mine. For now, I only have this blue fluffy bean. How long have you been in the fandom, and how has the fandom helped you? I've only been in the fandom for a few years, but I've been a furry for much longer than that. It's something I'm actually saving for a future video where I talk about how I became a furry and got into the furry fandom. But anyway, the fandom has helped me in countless ways. I've made countless lifelong friends, found the love of my life, it got me out of the house, I traveled all the hecking way to Pennsylvania for a con, and it got me this amazing YouTube gig. Something I did as a hobby turned into a full-time job for me. But it's not just me reaping the benefits. Many suit makers and artists in our community also make their living in the fandom. How do your cats react to the amount of fluffiness in your house? I've heard of stories of animals going bonkers and not knowing how to react around suits. Okay, I have a really funny story to tell. So I have two Russian blue cats named Tempest and Moana. Tempest was quite mortified on my fursuit head at first. He did not like it. Moana, on the other hand, was quite fascinated. No, seriously, she nuzzles and marks our fursuits. Moana, I'm trying to do a video. Tempest eventually got over his fear as well, and more or less does the same thing now. Face reveal anytime soon? Well, so long as my surgery is on schedule and isn't postponed due to the current situation going on, yeah, hopefully in a few months. But I'm not gonna announce when it'll happen exactly. I kinda want it to be a surprise. Hello, Stormy. I love your videos. But anyways, my question is, do you need a duct tape dummy of yourself if you are going to commission someone for a fursuit? I know a lot of people build one, but I wasn't sure if you had to. Thanks. Okay, so if you're gonna get the whole kit and caboodle, aka an entire full suit from head to toe, yes, you will most certainly need to have a duct tape dummy made of your body for the suit maker. This is necessary for the suit maker to size your body's proportions correctly for your bodysuits. Fursuits are made to order, custom fit, one-of-a-kind fluffy blankets. I've heard of a few suit makers being able to create one without a duct tape dummy via body measurements, but the margin of error and likelihood of the suit not fitting properly will be much, much higher as a result. To the best of my knowledge, most suit makers absolutely require a duct tape dummy for anything more than a mini partial, which doesn't require one as it excludes a bodysuit, torso, arm, or leg sleeves. Oh Mayo, his fur on the left is messed up a little bit. Look, you never had a bad fur day before? Kinda like you humans have bad hair days. Days where I just get super lazy and forget to brush my suit. It happens. What is your favorite video game besides Sonic? Probably Dance Dance Revolution or any of the old school 16-bit Mario titles, like Super Mario World. That game never gets old for me. How long is your longest time suiting? I think around 4 to 5 hours. 0 out of 10, would not recommend. I tend to take breaks every 30 minutes to an hour unless I'm live streaming. No, seriously, listen to your body. Don't go for some heckin' world record. It ain't worth it. It could put you in a lot of danger, so don't do that. Hey Stormy, how did you come up with that Splinter Fox would be your suit maker? And if you didn't choose Splinter Fox, what maker would you have picked instead? To be honest, I'm not entirely sure. I was actually settling on Fur the Wind Studios until I realized they had over a year wait. They are super popular and super busy. I was hoping to have my first suit ready by FWA 2017, but as I learned more, I found out fursuits simply can't be made overnight or in the same week. And in many cases the same month. Back then, I was a complete newbie with the whole suit making process. I had no idea how involved it really was. I had a lot to learn. Other makers I considered were More for Less, which I really couldn't afford, and Made for You, which was closed for commissions at the time. I quite like all of their suit styles, and then I found Splinter Fox, which was open for commissions, didn't have a long wait list, and their pricing was well within my budget. I also was really drawn to the suit maker style, particularly those big ol' follow me eyes. They're just too cute for words. So I gave them a try, and this is the result. Oh, and they threw in the floppy ears as a surprise, so Splinter Fox is responsible for that idea. Had you not chosen to be a Folf, what other species would you have considered? This one, or this one. The hype of finally making my first persona overridden the thought of that other species actually exist. There's more than just canines in this world. But at the same time, all I could really draw were foxes and canines, so that's probably another reason I picked a Folf. Do you have any tips on how to put more personality into your character when in fursuit? Some of my characters are total opposites of my main persona, and I'm not sure how I can pull it off. What I would do is just try putting on your suit, then take a good look at yourself in the mirror. Say the first thing that comes to your mind, then work on it from there. Sooner or later, you'll find your quote-unquote fursuit voice. It won't come overnight, and it will take some time to develop, but you'll eventually figure out how to pair your character with your voice and suit mannerisms. Bonus points if you can do it alone so you won't get distracted. And maybe film a few videos of yourself as well. That helps me even more. That way you can get an idea of how you looked and how you're acting and what to fine-tune, and other ways you can improve. I'm a newer YouTuber who does movie reviews. My question is, how much can I show from said movies like still frames or the poster without worrying about copyright laws? Okay, before I answer this, I'd just like to say I am not a lawyer and what I'm giving out should not be taken as legal advice. For purposes of critique, review, parody, or overall transformative use, it's usually fine to feature still frames or a poster from a movie. The 8-Bit Guy talked about this in the past and refuses to show more than 2 or 3 seconds of copyrighted movie footage, otherwise it might get recorded as a strike against your account. There's something about it that just falls into the rules of fair use, where if you use a few seconds of video and you're critiquing it or transforming it in some way, shape, or form, or using it as a parody, it's usually okay, but I can't guarantee you won't get a strike for that. And reviewers like Cinemassacre actually do this extensively without any problems, so that tells me right there, there's a way to not get in trouble, but I'm not a lawyer, so please take this with a grain of salt. Still frames, on the other hand, are totally okay, and that's personally what I stick to whenever I talk about movies and so on. Hey, I was wondering if younger furries can go to a furry convention. It wildly depends on which con you want to attend and where you're located. I know in the States, most furry conventions are for all ages, but depending on the age of the attendee, you'll either have to sign a parental consent form or have a parent with you at all times. Many cons outside the US are actually 18 plus only, supposedly due to insurance and liability reasons. Best thing to do is consult the convention website or staff themselves. And that about wraps up Q&A number 10. If you want to ask me a question for my next Q&A, simply type hashtag Q&A followed by your question in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer it. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, let me know your thoughts in the comments, consider supporting me on Patreon for perks like early access to videos, deleted scenes, exclusive Telegram chat, and more. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching and I'll see yous all next time. Bye bye!